Hey guys, Alec Torelli, what's up, and welcome back to an episode where I take your questions and answer them here in short videos. Today's question comes from one of my readers, Sam, who asks, if there's one thing I could change about my lifestyle to make it better, what would it be? And this is a great question, Sam. I love this one. And I'm pumped to answer this for you. So, really depends on what your goals are first and foremost, because if it's just to be more productive, then I would say maybe getting up earlier would be the best thing you could do. If it's to have more flexibility and freedom so you can have a better quality of life, I would say it would be controlling your time. If it's one thing you could change to up your business game, I would say it would be surrounding yourself with people that are like the people that you want to be like. So it really depends on what your goals are, but I'm going to answer this from the one thing I would change about my lifestyle that I think would give me the best quality of life. That's the perspective I'm going to kind of bring in here on this question, because I think that's the one that accomplishes the most goals for all of them, right? If you have the best quality of life, then everything else sort of becomes less relevant. So I think personally, for me, it would be structuring my life in a way where I have the most amount of control over my time. And the reason why I believe that is important is because when you have control over your time, in other words, when you control your schedule, when you control what you're doing, then all the other things in your life that you want now become more feasible. So let's say your goal is to learn a language. Well, learning a language requires time and a little bit of money, but mostly time, right? And if you think about the things that you want to do in your life and what elements or what currency they require, most of the time people think that what they're after is money because money can buy them the things they want. But most things in life that we want are experiences. They're being and doing and experiencing, not having and owning. And being, doing, and experiencing don't require money usually. They require time. I mean, learning a language might cost $500 to invest in a language learning program, but mostly what it costs is a ton of time to learn and study. But when you have control over your time, suddenly all the goals that you have in your life that are the most meaningful become more possible. So for me, it's about saying, okay, I would love to write a book. Writing a book doesn't cost money. Writing a book costs a lot of time. And because I control my schedule, I can block out the first 2 hours of every day and dedicate that to writing or my purpose or doing something inspiring, maybe like creating these videos. So I can block out time to things that are deeply meaningful and important to me, and I can accomplish more of my life goals. And so when you start to think about things in terms of their fundamental elements and what they require, controlling your time is the best way to go about maximizing the most amount of your goals. It also brings you about, I think, the most amount of happiness, because personally, for me, it's like being able to do what I want when I want has more utility than owning a lot of things or buying a lot of things or having a lot of things. And so it's about every day being able to get up and optimize my day based on what I'm feeling like doing. And that's huge, because as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, as an influencer, whatever it is, there's a lot of times when you're in certain moods. Like sometimes I have my business hat on and I'm really motivated to work on the business and hustle and do the numbers and the grind. Other times I'm super motivated. Like today, this is my 7th video that I've made today. I'm just pumped to bang out content. I'm inspired by your questions and I'm really fired up to make video content. And so on a day like today, because I control my time, I can leverage myself to be more productive. So if you say like, what's the one thing you would change about your lifestyle to be more productive or to grow your business, it's still controlling your time. Because on a day like today, I could either spend all day creating content and just be extremely productive and bang out a ton of content, or I could spend all day tomorrow, like I think I'm gonna do on my business, because I'm really motivated to work on this project that I'm working on. But I can block that out and do that because I control what I do on a daily basis. And that to me is the biggest gift. I put out a poll on my Twitter a while ago and asked people, if you could only have one of these two options for the rest of your life, the next 40 years, you can't change, you can't hack the system, you can't do anything. Which would you choose? $100K a year in an online business, or $1 million a year working at a conventional job on Wall Street? And about half the people chose each. And I think this says a lot about what your real priorities are. And I think it's a question worth reflecting on, not because it necessarily you have those two options today, but because it helps you direct your life to what you ultimately want to pursue, what you ultimately value. If you value the money because of whatever reason, respect, that's fine. But understand that it comes at a cost if you're going to work a conventional job. Whereas I personally would rather I think you can make more money having your own business or an online business than you can working a conventional job most of the time in the end. But even if you made less money, it's understanding whether your priority lies in freedom units or currency units. It's whether you're pursuing the currency of money or you're pursuing the currency of freedom. And for me, it's always been about putting everything in the box of what's going to give me the most amount of freedom in my life. So every decision I make comes back to my priorities, which are freedom, excitement, and choices. And freedom is the one that gives me the other two. So it's having control over my life and my schedule. And I think that's just the most important thing in life. And so even when it comes to, some practical things that I think you guys can do is, like, even when it comes to making decisions with events that you take on, with commitments you say yes to, with parties, with events, with things in the future, like, I say maybe or no to almost everything. And I respectfully decline a lot of opportunities, because I don't want them to tie up my time and my energy. It's mainly my energy and my attention. I want all my attention to be completely free so that I could focus on whatever's most present in my life right now. And I say no to everything. I say no to invites to weddings. I say no to invites to events. I say no to opportunities to be business partners, sponsorships, buy things. I say no to things all the time just because I don't want to have anything that hinders my freedom. And so it's not about saying yes to things that are going to give me more money. It's about saying no to things that are difficult to say no to. Or I say maybe. I say, look, I won't know until a week before. If that's not okay for you, I'm really sorry, but I just don't know at this time. And so that's just kind of how I live my life, because I don't plan more than a week in advance, because I want to have control over what I want to do with my time. And I think that's just the best way to go about it, is really to start to measure your life in terms of how much you control your schedule, not how much you have in the bank. And when you start to make that your priority, then suddenly you start to work towards building up more of those units of control over your schedule. And so the more of your days that you own, the more of your hours that you are deciding what you want to do, the richer I believe you are. And so the one change you can make to your lifestyle to make it better is to control more of your time. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. It's the best way to give me awesome feedback. Like it and leave it a comment. Let me know your thoughts. If you have questions, alectorelli.com/askalec. You guys are awesome. Thank you.